with Sirus migration with another breaking news. It has been a day full of breaking news. I've reached you earlier today to break out the news about Queensland. We reached you earlier today, followed by the news came through from Honourable Premier Anastasia Palaszczuk about opening the Queensland borders to international students in from 1st of January 2022, so which was a major news. And also we touched base about the New South Wales opening their borders to international students from 1st of November. These are major news for international students who are expecting to travel to Australia as soon as possible. And right now I'm carrying another major breaking news for you, which is BSMQ, or Queensland Migration, is currently open right now. It's alive, and this is only alive for a limited period of time. Normally the invitation round from BSMQ for 2022, we were expecting invitation round from by about August, September, but unfortunately this year it dragged a lot longer. BSMQ's got a brand new, really nice, magnificent website that they came up with as well. Go have a look at it, get familiar, it's nice. And so this is one of the reasons why you should be subscribed to our channel. Each time when we get a breaking news like this, we want to get it to you first and get it to you as soon as possible, so you can have the maximum benefit out of it too. So if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, please hit the bell button and the subscribe button icon. Or if you're coming through Facebook, please push the thumbs up button, so you'll be notified each time we release one of these latest and latest news and breaking news in relation to migration to Australia, or migration updates in Australia. So BSMQ has now opened for the first time in 2022 financial year. We were expected this news, this update earlier this year, but after a long delay, they have now announced the new protocol and new eligibility criteria for Migration Queensland. So I'm going to demystify as much as I can as soon as in coming minutes. And then we will come back to you about each sector in detail a little later in coming days. So BSMQ has opened, or Migration Queensland has opened the migration program with skill categories as well as business categories. As we already know, we need to, for the business categories, you need to be qualified through the business migration point table test, or for the skill migration, you need to be qualified through the skill migration point table test. We will jot down the links to the point tables and the skill occupation list down below in the comment section soon. With the BSMQ program, with the skill work and study program, there's two categories: BSMQ study and work category, as well as the business category. I'll talk about the business the education and work category first, and then we'll come to the other categories and explain it as well. So with Migration Queensland, there are 4 programs normally for graduates from Queensland universities and skilled workers in Queensland and skilled workers in offshore. And also Queensland introduced this really in-depth good 491 small business program, 491 small business owner category, as well as 491 regional skill category. To start with, graduates of Queensland graduates of from Queensland University category, there is two options: one for PhD graduates, one for one for bachelor's and master's students. So under the graduates of Queensland Uni category, if you're holding a PhD, which you have studied 100% of your course in a Queensland university, you may be eligible for a 190 or 491 visa, given you have fulfilled the federal government requirement, and your occupation is in the skill occupation list. And also you can be a recent graduate, or you can be a person who has graduated within last 2 years. If you're a PhD holder, you need to complete your, as I said earlier, 100% of your course in Queensland, but you're not required to demonstrate any there's no job requirement, so you can either be working in the field or not working in the field. The education itself can be a selective eligible criteria. And masters or bachelor's applicants, you're only eligible for 491 if you go under this stream. Again, you need to have your occupation in skill occupation list, and you must have studied in a Queensland university. You must have completed the 100% of your education or your qualification in a Queensland university. You must have had a GPA of 6 or higher, and you must demonstrate proficient English through, if it's IELTS, then it has to be 7 in each band or higher, and this can be, depending on the category, this can be a general stream as well. And you also need to required to demonstrate that you have 3 months of work experience, and this can be part-time, which is 20 hours a week, and you need to have a job offer for at least 1 year. Then the next category is for skilled workers living in Queensland. In this category, you have 190 and 491. With 190, again, your skill occupation has to be in SOL. Don't get misguided from the quota, because I've already had many clients calling about the quota. So remember, it's as long as your skill occupation is in the skill occupation list, that's an eligibility, and you need to demonstrate 6 months of full-time work experience, which is an equivalent to 35 hours per week, and you need to have a 1 year job offer. This is for 190 category in Queensland, under skilled workers living in Queensland category. And let's talk about 491 under skilled workers living in Queensland. Again, 491, every time I talk about 491, we must be aware about applicable regions. So when we talk about the applicable regions, the postcodes are widely important. Mario will go through these are the applicable regions. If you must demonstrate that you have worked at least for 3 months in one of these regions in Queensland, and then you must have at least 1 year full-time job offer in a regional Queensland. So it can be Gold Coast, Sunshine Coast. There's many postcodes and postcode ranges. So if you worked in one of these postcodes for with last 6 months, then you can be eligible for 491 491 visa EOI through skilled workers living in Queensland category. And also I would like to talk about the quotas and caveats in this as well. With this 190 and 491 skilled workers category, talking about these categories, I'd like to bring up the quotas applicable for each major occupations in there. Please note these are only for the major. This does not mean that if your occupation is in skill occupation list and it's not listed here, don't worry too much. You might still be eligible. So if you have any doubts, come and talk to us. So finance sectors, there are 3 categories: accountant in general, finance manager, and management accountant. Each category has got 50 places each, so adding up to 150. Engineers, you have a few categories. Nurses, we have to be mindful: aged care, critical care, and emergency, and not elsewhere classified nurses. Get the opportunity. ICT sector, software engineer, developer, programmer, ICT business analyst, software and applications programmers, not elsewhere classified. Tradies, motor mechanics, and cooks and chefs got the opportunity. 30 occupations each. So it's not much with the quota, but if you are coming from other categories, you're still eligible. Don't be completely disappointed if you're coming through this. So next I would like to touch base about skilled workers offshore. Sorry, I'll go back to caveats actually. Talking about those quotas, please note there are a few caveats, or if you want me to simplify it, there are some further protocols or further guidance that we need to obey by for each category. For accountants, it's only for general accountants. Preferences will be applicable to applicants who are working in accounting firm, and also they must have CPA or working towards CPA. And auditors, you must have a job as an auditor, not an accountant. Cooks and chefs, you must be working in proper restaurants. I'm not sure if that's the right way, but you cannot be working in takeaways or fast food. So again, we have jotted down some of the postcodes, but we have talked about those postcodes earlier. So I would now like to go back into skilled workers from offshore. Unfortunately, Queensland has not extended the invitations to offshore clients this time around, so they might reconsider it later down the financial year. For this invitation round, there is no invitations applicable for offshore applicants. Last but not least, in skill categories, I would like to talk about 491 SPO, which was introduced by Queensland for the first time, I guess, and it was a very good, successful program. So so there is an exciting new addition to this program as well. So I'll be very quick about 491. Pretty much as long as you fulfill the federal government 491 eligibility, if you had a skill assessment and you're under 45 from anywhere in Australia, and then you came and bought a business in Queensland spending $100,000 and operated for 6 months, also employing an Australian citizen or a permanent resident for 6 months, you could have been eligible for 491. So that was the earlier category. So this time around there is a new addition for 491 small business owner, which is very exciting, which allows you to open up a startup business as well, but you need to operate this business for at least 2 years. And out of 2 years, the second year you must at least get your turnover up to $200,000, and you need to show profit from this turnover as well from the second year. So you must, at the time of your 491 application, you must demonstrate last 12 months profitability and the turnover of $200,000, but you can be a startup. There'll be a lot of things to learn about, and there'll be a lot of questions that you might want to demystify. Please be in touch. I'll go through and explain to you further about it. And also I must touch base with you about the categories of businesses. The only disqualifying business categories are commissions only agents, leasing agents, or home-based businesses are not eligible to apply for this category. So it must be a properly operating business, not commissioning only or home-based or a leasing agent business for this category. And now let's talk about business visas. With the business visa, 188A, B, C invitation rounds are now open. So if you're expecting to extend your visa business in Queensland, 188A, B, C applicable are open now in Queensland. There are a lot of clients who were expecting to put their expression of interest. So this can be only one round. It can go a few other times this year as well. So if you miss out on this time, you can still be eligible. And there is, as per advice from Migration Queensland, the 188A category, 188A, B, and C categories will be open until the quota has been met. So there'll be they might be open further than 190 and 491 categories. Unfortunately, 188E has not been 188 for entrepreneur category has not been advised. They have not been advised the eligibility protocols yet. So 188E is you come up with a very good business idea, and then you get a funder locally or a partner locally who would fund it. So you do not need to have a capital behind you, but then you get capitalized from a local business or a venture partner in Australia. So for this category, they have not announced the protocols yet. I hope I help you understand the latest Brisbane business and skill migration Queensland category for 2022 program for 2022 financial year. Would you like to learn more, please be in touch through admin@sirus.com.au or any of our contact details, and we would be hoping to release further information, demystifying further information and visa categories for you, so you'll be more knowledgeable to join some of these programs. Until we meet you soon, we are expecting to meet you again as per usual on live at 2:30. That way I should be able to answer most of your questions and discuss further migration categories. Normally it's 3 o'clock. This week we are expecting to do it at 2:30. And until then, if I wish you safe night if you're in Queensland or elsewhere. If you elsewhere in the world, wish you a great day. Thank you very much for joining. If you have not subscribed to our channel yet, hit the subscribe button. If you're with Facebook, please hit the thumbs up button. Thank you very much for joining us, and hope you have a wonderful day ahead.